Jessie here. I'm going to show you a process video for the image I colored on the previous video. And yeah, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you some of the products that I'm going to be using. All of the products will be listed on my blog post with the names exactly. I'm going through what I had pulled. I don't use all of the flowers or all of the trim, anything like that. But these are the ideas I had, and all the products I use were shown there. There's just a few I leave out. I really love these point design papers. Aren't they lovely? I think they're absolutely beautiful. So prior to the video, I had cut everything out that I had wanted. It just makes everything easier. You don't have to see me going through, 10 sheets of paper to decide which ones I want and what size I want. And so I have them all cut and figured out here. Now it's just to layer them, and I'm distressing them with the Tea-Dye Distress ink all around the edges. And this takes me a little while, and then I'm going to come back with my Prima Distressing tool and rough them all up a whole bunch. When I do my cards, I get a lot of times people ask me about how big my border is around like my solid cardstock that I put beneath my pattern paper, and I always cut it an eighth of an inch bigger than whatever I cut my pattern paper to, and then you get like a 1/16 of an inch all the way around, so it's just a slight border. And the reason I do that is just basically to break up the pattern papers. I find sometimes when I lay pattern papers directly on top of each other, I get like they look really, really busy. But if I put that layer of white or whatever solid color cardstock I decide to use in between the pattern paper and then the next layer behind it, so I just layer them, it breaks it up enough that they don't seem quite so busy on top of each other. You have that solidness just to kind of frame everything out. And I love my Prima Distressing tool. This thing is fantastic. It's probably the best thing I've ever bought. That and my Craft Knife are like my go-to products lately. It's easy to hold. I have the Tim Holtz one too, and I liked it, but it was so small. I just find this one, I like it better. It's just more comfortable in my hand is all. And lots of people cringe with how bad I beat up my paper, but I like it. I think it looks pretty when it's finished. And I don't mind, like you'll see as it goes around and it tears in certain places and stuff, and that's because when I do my distressing, I go back and forth. And I do that so that it does tear. I don't want it completely perfect all the way around. I like little tears and imperfections and things like that in it. I mean, I'm roughing it up and distressing it, so. And I'm sorry if watching this kind of feels monotonous, but it's the process. I do cut some things out. The Make-A-Wish stamp, you can see it laying down there. I'll distress it right away. The stamp itself is from the Handwritten Greetings from Simon Says Stamp. I like that set. Christina Werner has beautiful handwriting. I have horrible handwriting. So like it says there, I added all of the tape in between filming. I just turned off the camera and added all of my tape so that you guys didn't have to see me add my tape. And now I'm just going to slowly start assembling all of my layers. And if you looked at the beginning when I brought it all in, kind of laid out together there, I just find it looks more lifelike. And I just like the appeal of it more when everything's all roughed up and distressed and there's a little bit of ink on it and that kind of stuff. And I ink it before I distress it because I like the white core of the paper to show, and then you just get a little bit of the color from the ink that I put around the edges. There's not a whole lot of it. I think she's so cute. That Sherry Baldy image is awesome. Here I fiddle with it a bit, trying to figure out which way I can layer the sentiment in there and have it work for me. And I go back to the way I had it laid out in my head when I was pre-planning this video. And I just keep fiddling around with it and fiddling around with it, and there's really no reason to be doing that. So I have tape on the bottom of it, but because there's so many layers of paper behind it, I have foam tape. I buy rolls of it at Dollarama in Canada, and I just put some of that underneath so that the banner itself doesn't cut down too low, being taped directly on. And you'll see me fuss with this lace. It just does not want to stick for me, and I never have this much issue with gluing it down with my Scotch Quick Dry. It usually happens real easy. But you'll see I put this all on, and then I go to cut everything shorter, and my box pleated ribbon there that I'm putting on right now ends up coming off. So I go back and I put double-sided tape behind it and then some liquid adhesive just to make sure that it's going to stay where I want it. I love this angel hair trim. It's pretty. I was debating between it and cheesecloth, and I haven't used this in forever, so I pulled that out. See, I'm already trying to re-glue it because nothing's sticking. And I cut, and then I end up cutting them smaller, and I just ruffle them all up and stick them all together. And I'm sorry, I was off camera doing that. And then I just tuck it in behind, and I'll go in and I shove some Scotch Quick Dry in there, and then I just tuck it back in, and you can see the trim is moving beside on its own there. Completely aggravating. And then the other side, I'm doing the exact same thing. Shove some adhesive and stick it underneath of there. So between the Scotch Quick Dry and the Miracle Tape that I use when I glue my cards together, it's on there. So now you'll see the flowers I actually use. This is out of the Prima set. I think they're very pretty with the eyelet lace. Dusty Attic makes absolutely stunning flowers, you guys. I'm ordering them in different colors. I think they're absolutely beautiful. The colors they have are amazing. And these are Petaloo, they're pearl daisies, and you get 40 of them in a package. This is the pink family, is the one I have here. And I end up, the white flower on top there, the small one, comes off, and I end up going and getting a lighter pink daisy, like the pearl ones, another one out of that package. So that gets changed out. And I flatten them because those ones they're so rounded and cupped upwards, and they're just a little two-dimensional. So I put it on my on my table, and I stick my thumb on it, and I just push it down so that it kind of releases all the petals from each other, and it allows me to flatten it out a little more. So this is where I go in and I dig out one of the light little pink flowers, and I put that one on. And then I'm going to start trimming off my, and realizing that my ribbon and my lace still hasn't stuck like it's supposed to. And now I fuss with putting tape on the back of it, and then I add some glue to the back of it, and then I stick it back on, and it's dry now, and it's not coming off. If you take it off, it's ripping everything in behind it off too. This side I futz with it on the card, and I should have just pulled it off and done it the easy way, but and then I trim my lace, and I just leave the lace just slightly longer than the card itself. And now I pull my tape off the back of the front panel, and I glue it onto my card base. And that's it. The card is complete. Thanks for watching. Bye!